agency. A lot of people thought the Indiana Fever was...
The Indiana Fever just pulled off a masterclass in team building.
Well, everybody else in the damn W was playing checkers, bro. They just strategically put this thing together.
A lot of people thought the Indiana Fever were going to come up short in free agency. But let me tell you, they were playing chess while the rest of the WNBA was stuck playing checkers. Let's talk about the biggest move that nobody saw coming. The Fever just landed Sophie Cunningham, one of the toughest, most fearless players in the league. And this changes everything for Caitlin Clark and Indiana. No more bullying Clark on the court. Remember when people said Clark was getting bullied on the floor last season? Painful to watch, right? Well,
so Sophie Cunningham,
those days are over. Cunningham is here to set the tone.
in a trade that a lot of people are really confused at.
She's not here to play nice. She's here to make sure no one, and I mean no one, messes with Clark or any of her teammates. And the best part? She's not just tough, she's skilled. Last season, she averaged 18 ppg. Shot an insane 45% from 3. Plays with a chip on her shoulder that's contagious. This isn't just a role player. The Fever just upgraded their identity. The Fever finessed the whole league. Let's talk about how Indiana pulled this off. They got Cunningham for just $100,000.
This trade only makes sense. This trade for me, anyway.
That's right. A player this good, on a bargain contract that makes other teams green with envy. They basically found a WNBA cheat code and executed it to perfection. And you might be thinking, okay, but what did they have to give up? The answer? The number 8 pick. That's it. And here's why that's a genius move.
Basically as a favor, because she does so much work with the Phoenix Suns.
Picks don't make an immediate impact. The Fever are in win-now mode. Instead of waiting on a rookie, they got a proven veteran. You can't ask for a better deal. A championship-level roster is taking shape. Let's step back and look at the Fever's full transformation. Out. Nalissa Smith, Erica Wheeler, number 8 pick. In. Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, Grace Berger.
But she is being paid $100K a year. Her salary is basically identical to Nalissa Smith's. She is a much better prospect than Nalissa Smith. And
potential starters, a lockdown enforcer, and a future.
They don't have to use a first-round pick this year.
Star in Berger. Oh, and Kelsey Mitchell is back. Oh, and Clark is entering year 2. Oh, and they still have cap space for another big move. This team is about to be scary. Caitlin Clark finally has an enforcer. People have been waiting for someone to protect Clark from all the hate and physical play. Well, she finally
trade, as Indiana sends the number 8 pick to Dallas.
got her enforcer. Cunningham isn't just a player, she's a culture changer. She's going to bring toughness, leadership, and fire to a Fever team that is on the rise.
As they get Natasha Howard, they get Sophie Cunningham, possibly adding 2 starters.
Long story short, the Fever didn't just get better, they got smarter. They're building a championship-level squad, while other teams are scrambling. And when this season starts and you see Clark, Cunningham, and Howard tearing it up, you'll understand. The Fever aren't just building a team, they're building a dynasty. Everything being signed right now? 1-year rentals. That's the reality. These are short-term deals, and the Fever are making moves with one goal in mind: winning right now. Look at who they've added: Sophie Cunningham and Natasha Howard. These aren't development players.
Long story short, man, we got to talk about Sophie Cunningham, what she brings to the team, and we all know Caitlin Clark has been a huge target for WNBA veterans, for just haters in general. And I'm here to tell you, Sophie Cunningham is not going to put up with the hate and the bullying Caitlin Clark has been receiving throughout the WNBA.
Plug-and-play pieces built for immediate impact. This team isn't thinking about a slow build. They're thinking about competing today and dominating tomorrow. But here's where it gets even crazier. The Fever aren't just making moves for this season. They're playing 4D chess while the rest of the league is still figuring out checkers. They're setting themselves up to win in 2025, win in 2026, and keep building beyond that. And that's why they made the tough decision to move on from Nalissa Smith. I know what you're thinking. Wasn't she supposed to be their future? Look, Smith was the number 2 overall pick once, but let's be real. her stock wasn't skyrocketing. The Fever needed an upgrade, and they got it. Sometimes, you have to know when to cut your losses and move on to bigger and better things. Let's talk about that 8th pick, too. Some people are acting like Indiana gave up gold, but think about it. Is an unproven rookie at number 8 really more valuable than a player like Grace Berger, who's already in the system and developing fast?
Is it annoying them giving up the 8th pick? Yes, but there's a possibility if they are going for added in free agency that they might not be able to afford to keep the 8th pick.
The answer is no. And don't forget, the Fever still have cap space for one more big move. They've been moving in silence, playing chess while the rest of the league is making noise but not much else. Something big is coming. And when it does, the whole WNBA is going to feel it. So yeah, some people are upset about losing.
I still think they come out as big winners for today. I think they're significantly better today than they were yesterday. And a pick is always hypothetical. Picks always have way more value.
Number 8 pick. Meanwhile, the Fever? They're laughing all the way to the playoffs. They didn't just win this trade, they punked the entire league. And if you don't see it yet, just wait. When the season starts and you see Clark, Cunningham, and Howard lighting up the court, you'll understand. The Fever aren't just building a team. They're creating a dynasty. Last season, her numbers took a nosedive, just 10.6 points and 7.1 rebounds per game. Can you believe it? That's not exactly what you expect from a supposed franchise player. Oh, and let's not forget, the Fever's 19th pick is gone, and so is Nalissa Smith. If you're Indiana, how great do you feel about that? My goodness, finally. And listen, it's not about being mean to Smith. It's just that watching her play was frustrating. She represented everything that was holding this team back. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so Smith didn't pan out. But isn't trading her away still a big risk? That's where the Fever's front office showed its brilliance. They didn't just move on from Smith, they massively upgraded their roster. Enter Natasha Howard. She's not just a player, she's a walking, talking championship factory. 3 WNBA titles under her belt. 3. That's the kind of experience you can't teach. And today, it's official. Howard is joining the Fever. So, are the Fever now title contenders?